All right, McGuire staff, I'm going to make a video that shows you how to log two-way communication. I'm going to send you an email, or you probably actually got this video embedded in the email. So I'm going to show you how to log this and what its purpose is, and then hopefully answer any questions that you might have. So normally we're doing attendance on a daily basis, and that's what we're going to continue to do. Attendance is going to be logged, but if you do log it into PowerSchool, you only have to do it, you're only going to take attendance once, and it's going to count for AM and PM. So you will enter it for AM and PM, but it's not like you'll have to go back and take it again in the PM. You'll just enter in both spots right away. So when it's time for you to log two-way, or if I were you, I would just have this up all the time so you don't have to do double duty. You're going to go to your shared drives. Don't look at all mine. That'll make your eyes go nuts. You're going to go to McGuire Elementary, and then you're going to find Oilers Online, which is a folder. Then you're going to go to Attendance, which is another folder, and then 2021, which is another folder. And then you're going to find your name. So I'm going to use Judy Baker because she's my first teacher that pops up here. And I'm going to click on her. Her document is going to pop up on our screen in just a second. Hopefully you can see that. And this is going to show you the two-way communication log. And this is going to be one day right in here where my mouse is moving. This is going to be another day. So there's a column area for each day. You are going to take attendance just like normal. And if you want to not have PowerSchool up right away and you just want to do it here, you're welcome to do that. I think that might be easier, and then transfer it over. But then I was going to give you an example of in my morning, if I was Judy, I would just have this document up, and this many kids showed up in my morning meeting. And I said, good morning, good morning, good morning, said their names. And I just clicked as I said their names. So I was making sure that I was taking role at the same time as I'm doing the two-way communication. So you could start here. And if you had this many kids show up and you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kids not show up, then maybe later during that day, they showed up, you had 2 more show up for a live session. So I'm going to click 2 more. Then the other 4 you just haven't seen all day. But then you got a text from mom that was asking you a question about an assignment that the student was working on. And then on this student, you got an email from dad that said they weren't able to access, something in particular. So those 2 would now be accounted for. Then these last, 2 kids here you haven't heard from yet. So you're going to have to check somehow, during that day, or then maybe in the morning you'll check and see if they completed an assignment and were on somehow, that evening. So that's why I was saying you might want to, not have your attendance wrap up until 9 a.m. the next day, because you might have some kids that hop on. If all your kids have hopped on already by the end of the day, then you are golden and don't have to think about it. So we're going to say that those 2 kids hopped on and did an assignment. So I would put it here, commented, responding to submitting an assignment here and here. So now all of my students, that would be an example of a two-way communication, of one two-way communication for them. So now during a week, I just have to show 2 two-way communications to have it count. If you log it 3 times, you don't get extra points. If you log it 4 times, you don't get extra points. So just make sure that you are logging 2 two-way communications. Once you've done that, you no longer have to keep track of all this stuff right here. All you have to keep track of is the normal attendance. So when I was doing some research on this and checking in with teachers, checking in with Katie Ranke at Fancher, what they've been doing is doing this, and then they put it in for attendance over here later, because it's much easier. Then you don't have to go twice, and you just go back to this column that next day and enter all of that, and you enter it into PowerSchool at that time. So it makes it a little bit easier. So you're going to make sure this week, for example, we only have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because I didn't tell you about this two-way on Tuesday because I really didn't want your brains to blow up. So you only have 3 days to log the two-way communication. So you will have to choose either, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. 2 of those days we've got to get two-way communication on kids. And that's something that the state wants reported, and that gets reported to the board, I think on a monthly basis, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But I know it does get reported. So we want to make sure that we're trying to make those connections with kids. And if you have kids that aren't connecting and you're doing everything you can, please send them on to me and I will help you. I'm happy to help you with that. So remember this week, it's going to be a little bit different because you got to make sure you log it twice.